Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're going to be making beef chili, enough to feed a family. What we're going to be needing are a lot of onions, a lot of garlic, a lot of peppers, more peppers, tinned tomatoes, some black beans and red beans, and if you're feeling meaty, some beef mince. Now we're going to be adding some other seasonings as we go along, but now that we have everything we need, let's get cooking. Firstly, we've got a lot of onions to cut. This is enough to feed about, say, 4 or 5 people, and I use about 4 good-sized onions. So just peel and roughly chop. It's all going to break down into the sauce anyway. A lot of onions. Always good to maintain a sharp knife so it doesn't slip around anywhere, and just helps make the whole process a lot easier. Another thing you can try grating your onions, you can try food processing your onions, but I like to keep it simple, keep cleaning down to a minimum, so I just use a knife. Into a hot, dry pan, let's add our beef. Let's not crowd the pan, we're looking for some very crispy beef. As it cooks, it's going to release its own oils, its own juices, and it will cook in its own fat. As that's going, we've got a big pot on the heat, and I'm struggling to find some cooking oil around this time, so just got here some coconut oil. It's just as good, non-flavored, just scoop out as much as you need. Now that the pot is up to heat, let's add our onions. They're going to be spending a long time in there. I want to really get them brown, start to get some sweetness out of them. Stir it around, break them up, and give the beef a little stir. That looks crispy, so let's set this aside and add the remainder of our beef. Do the same to them. Extra crispy. While that's happening, let's move on to the garlic and smash up a bunch. I reckon about half a bulb of garlic, but I'm a garlicky kind of person, so I like a lot. Smash them up. Give them a little chop. And again, this garlic will break down in the sauce as it cooks. Oh, why not? One more. Now for our peppers. All I'm looking for here is just spoon-sized chunks of pepper. So just slice them down the sides, slice the bottom off, and slice into chunks. Now this may look like a lot of pepper, but don't worry, there will be more later. More chopping. Don't worry about the seeds or the pith, no one's going to notice. Alright, now that's done, let's check back on the stove. Beef's looking crispy, let's just break them up a little. I like to keep it in slightly bigger chunks, I find that it browns a lot better. Give the onions a bit more oil, they're looking a bit dry. Add the garlic, now that the onions are sweated and translucent. Do this so I don't end up burning the garlic, they don't need as much time in the pot. Give it a stir around. Should be smelling pretty damn good right now. Beef is looking beefy and crispy, so let's set them aside with the other beef. While the onions and garlic are cooking down, getting some good color, we can start thinking about our spices. Grab yourself a tiny bowl. Ooh, get rid of that. Now, I got cumin. Let's start off with 2 teaspoons for now. Let's go for more. Cumin's the main flavor here. Now, smoked paprika. 2 decent good teaspoons. Cayenne pepper. You could be cautious with this, so I reckon just a teaspoon. Cinnamon. Cinnamon gives a nice sort of almost fruity overtones in the spice. Give them a little mix. Give the onions a little mix. Almost sticking to the pot there. Just watch out for that. Now add some oregano, about a teaspoon. Now a little bit more. And mix them up again. Salt the onions. A little bit more. Give a little pepper. Yeah, a lot of pepper. Mix it all up. You can see that the onions are getting a bit jammy, getting soft, getting nice and brown. Oh, nearly forgot. Add some chili flakes. Double down on the spice. Right, onions have reached a good level of brownness, so let's add the spices. Let them cook and wake up with the onions and the oils. It's not quite the same if you just dump them in with the tomato sauce, so I like to cook them a bit at this stage, almost like you would with a curry paste. Starting to smell real good now. Now, tomato puree. Now, I like to add about 2 big teaspoons of it, or however much is left in your tin. Spread that around, mix it in. Add some oil, it's looking a bit dry in there. All the spices soaked up the oils. Looking a bit black at the bottom, so let's scrape up what's stuck at the bottom there with some water from our tomato puree tin. Alright, now let's add our beef. Get them introduced to the spices and add their beefiness. Give them a little mash. Have a little taste. Yep. Needs a bit more salt. Right, leave it in there to toast for a bit whilst I clean off some stuff. Now, let's add our tin tomatoes. Go off and rinse the tin. Burn the water. No tomatoes get wasted here. Scrape up anything getting stuck at the bottom. There's good deep flavors developing down there. And the rest of the tomatoes. Rinse off, put it in. More mixing. Now I want to double down on the beef, so I've got a beef stock cube. Break it up, mix it in. Now if you're feeling fancy, some coffee goes well as a seasoning in this. Some people use coffee, some people use dark chocolate. Start off with a little and see how it goes. Whilst that's bubbling away, I'm just opening a couple of tins of beans, rinsing them off. And we have black beans and a tin of red kidney beans. If you're making a vegetarian chili, then add more beans. They're good. Now it looks like we don't have enough pepper in there, so let's just chuck in a bit more. This dish is rather forgiving, where if you want more in there, then just throw it in. Let's have a taste. Not spicy enough. More chili. Chili flakes, quite mild, quite fruity. And we've got some cayenne pepper. Is that more? Nah. Let's not get too wild. Now I'm not tasting enough of the cumin in there, so chuck in a bit more of that. Chuck in some more paprika. Again, it's very forgiving, so if ever you want more, then just throw in some more. But remember, this can feed about 5 people, so if it looks like a lot, then good, you need a lot. Go on, more pepper. Fruity, clean flavour, very nice. A little bit of stem in there, let's just rip that off. Give a little taste. Yeah, more cinnamon. It's like a little high note on your spices. What I really like about this dish is that there are several layers of flavourings happening, so you can achieve a great depth in its flavour. Tastes like I want more beef in there. Add another beef stock cube, a little water. Want it to be more wet than I want it to at this stage because it's now going to be spending at least an hour in the oven. Now the sauce is going to reduce down, it's going to lose some of its moisture, and it's going to get nice and brown and crispy around the top, around the edges. Let's check it in about 20 or 30 minutes. And 20 or 30 minutes has passed, so let's have a look. Nice and bubbly. Now, it's important to give a mix every now and then because all the solids will just fall down to the bottom and they might catch. So just give it a mix up. Have a little taste. It's pretty hot. It's getting there. The flavour does change a lot as it spends time in the oven. It gets deeper and gets bolder. Now it's quite wet at the moment, so I'm just going to leave the lid a bit ajar to help let out some of the moisture in the chili, really start to condense, concentrate the flavours. So let's chuck it in and give it another 20 or 30 minutes. More time has passed, so let's have another look. Ooh, that's what I like to see. Very crispy, browning around the edges, smelling really good, smelling sweet, smelling deep. Now there's some very exciting stuff happening around the edges. There's a very concentrated flavours in there, so I want to scrape all of that off, mix it all in, and just adds to the depth of our chili. Ooh, that's a good texture. I would say that the magic point where your chili gets to this stage is about an hour in the oven. Let's have a little taste. Nice. That's a good amount of spice in there. Now, I'm going to be serving this with rice, fresh from the rice cooker. Yep. Give that a little mix, loosen it up, and place it into your bowl of choice. The way I like to serve things like this is to smush the rice to one half of the bowl and fill the other half with our excellent beef chili. And there we have a simple bowl of beef chili. Now, what condiments can we add to this? Some people can use yogurt, you can use sour cream. I got here some light mayonnaise, a cooling contrast to the chili's spice. And there we have it, beef chili, enough to feed a family. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.